We're dropping in on the master carver at Bybee Stone Company in Elletsville, so prepare to be impressed.
It's a moment where you're destroying and creating at the same time. The surprise of that is also an excitement. There really isn't anything else like it. Once I see and mark the area on the stone that I want to remove, I can blast it out pretty much carefree. When you work smaller, it becomes sort of a meditative process where it's not nearly the violence that you find in a stone mill. Anything that you want to do, keep wanting to do. It's a pretty good clue that you love it. It's kind of like all those girls I thought I loved when I meet the one I really love.
Now, it might seem a bit odd to be so totally enamored with a piece of stone that, should it break loose from its moorings, could crush everything around it to pieces, and see in it the swirl of gently curved and carved images of flowers, winding ribbons, and strands of lion's fur. But such is the passion and pursuit of a master carver.
First time I hit the chisel, all the lights went on.
But doing what you were born to do is a good thing, and finding the right place to do it is even better. Here at Bybee Stone Company in Elletsville, after the sawing, planing, lathing, and cutting, they still finish things the old-fashioned way, carving Indiana limestone by hand. The Bybee Mill was once the Matthews brothers' quarry in the days of the Civil War, when carvers traveled to the stone. As huge blocks of limestone were dropped off in the nation's front yards and side streets to be worked on by journeyman carvers who rode from job to job. With the advent of modern modes of transportation, today's stone comes to the carver, to be cut to order before wending its way back in all shapes and sizes all over the world.
Right now we have a job that you could fit in a small cardboard box. And then we also have a project out in Las Vegas that's, I think it's around 120 truckloads of stone.
So, what makes Indiana limestone so special?
It can be worked in all planes. And so you can make just about any kind of configuration out of it. It's not as hard as the granites, for example, and yet it holds up for hundreds of years.
And if you've been anywhere, you've probably sauntered past Bybee's work. From Gucci storefronts in London and Guam, yes, Guam, to the finishing touches on the Washington Cathedral and the restoration of the Pentagon after 9/11. And then there's the sampler of ornamental building detail, the Iowa State Capitol trimwork restoration that took 15 years to complete.
We had eagles, and we had Corinthian caps, and we had brackets, and we had rosettes, and we had, you name it.
Of course, none of the above happens by chance. The plant is a tale of two worlds. Downstairs, a very noisy and, although safety-minded, dusty world, whose saw-made smoke can get in the eyes of even our TV cameras. To the calm of the drafting rooms, where every project for Bybee goes through an extensive drawing-up process.
I believe this is the Carmel Performing Arts Center. And we take this shop drawing after it comes back from the architects and break down each individual piece. This little mark number is so the mason, when it comes on the site, knows where it gets set. And he picks that up like a puzzle and puts it in place.
These look a lot like sewing patterns. And then you might imagine if this were something on a lathe, for example.
That's exactly what
it would wind up being in the round.
That's right.
Carved off of this.
Oh, but sometimes limestone, any stone, can surprise you. Oh, it's an organic material, unlike carving a block of plaster or something, which gives you no feedback, makes no suggestions. It's sort of a silent partner, where stone is more of an active partner in the process.
If limestone whispers in hushed tones to tell the carver when and how to mold it, it speaks to all of us, loud and clear, when it's on full display.
It just kind of gives you a nice feeling that, your great-grandchildren or great-great-great-great-grandchildren might look at this building someday, and we are putting up structures that will be around for generations.
I love it. I love the fact that it endures, And I love the public pieces because I can see them. I plan to take a motorcycle tour with my wife one day and see everything I've made.
Yep, it looks like the folks who turn Indiana limestone into a wonder for the eyes are going to be around for a long time. Which is fortunate, because at the current rate of quarrying the Indiana stone belt, there's about 1,000 years worth of limestone right under our feet. Anyone need a custom lion's head?